When the sun sets, it is time for the top stories from the day. Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Thursday evening. As usual, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, sports, and so much more. I am Glenora Shipura. Starting us off in the news tonight, President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah has clarified that mothers in Namibia can now register their children without the presence of the father, following the removal of previous legal requirements. Speaking at the inauguration of the new Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security Head Office in Nkerankuru, Nandi-Ndaitwah said the change is aimed at ending delays in birth registration and ensuring that every child can access their constitutional rights from birth. The president also commended the ministry for completing the project on time and within budget after its groundbreaking in 2024. She encouraged fathers to remain actively involved in their children's lives, but stressed that no child should be left without documentation due to their absence.
There is persistent challenge as people registering their children late. This thing must become something of the past. Our biggest program was the law that required the father to be there for a child to be registered. For us to comply with this constitutional requirement, we have now removed that. The presence of the father, is very, very important. And I'm appealing to the boy child. I'm appealing to the fathers. Be present and enjoy the pleasure of your child coming to this earth. And then immediately go to the office in the hospital and register. But for those who do not to experience that, you and me as mothers, we cannot run away from that. Because we are the one carrying the baby, we are the one who are giving.
A high-speed police chase in Windhoek ended in a crash and gunfire in the Ludwigsdorp residential area this morning. Witnesses reported that the incident occurred between 8 and 9 a.m. when a police vehicle crashed into the wall of the Chinese embassy while pursuing suspects in a Volkswagen Polo. According to witnesses, the sedan first rammed into a gate before speeding off, prompting police to give chase. Officers reportedly opened fire, allegedly aiming at the tires as the vehicle fled. Witnesses stated the pursuit may be linked to a suspected robbery. The suspects had already escaped by the time officers exited their vehicle. It remains unclear where the chase began or if anyone was injured.
Yes, very good day to all our viewers. My name is Philip Joseph, reporting to you from Ludwigsdorp, right here in Windhoek by the Chinese embassy, where we've come across a report of a shooting that has taken place here, where a police vehicle was chasing down Apollo hatchback sedan, where, as you can see, collided right into the gate of the embassy, and that also led to the police vehicle also bumping into the wall. After that, according to some of the witnesses that were here, the event or the incident rather took place right at about 8 or 9 o'clock, where the police officers, as stated by the witnesses, fired a couple of shots and emptied their clip, but were unable to apprehend the car that were chasing down, which were the alleged robbers. What seems to have been a robbery that might have taken place at an unknown location. As far as indicated by the security guards, a preliminary investigation was done by the police officer. As you can see, it's still a developing story, but as stated, do stay tuned for more.
The Namdia Foundation handed over medical equipment to the Ministry of Health and Social Services in Walvis Bay in support of Shuarongo State Hospital and Katima Mulilo State Hospital. The initiative forms part of the foundation's ongoing commitment to strengthening healthcare delivery and improving access to essential medical services across Namibia.
It is a powerful demonstration of what can be achieved when we work together. It shows us that a healthier Namibia isn't just a distant hope. It is a real future that we are building with this donation. Behind it is saving lives for real. Incubators will know what they can do in a hospital setting. This shows a strong partnership between the government, between the public enterprises that the Namdia Foundation is part and parcel of Namibia can do, and what the private sector and the non-governmental organizations and development partners could do in order for us to impact the lives and change development outcomes for the better. This donation is well targeted, is well thought out, quite impactful and targeted on where it is going. Director of Ceremonies, allow me to highlight the real difference this equipment will make in the lives of our people. One, the neonatal incubators will become the first safe haven of our tiniest, most fragile citizens. Imagine a premature baby, just days old, fighting for every breath. These incubators will provide the warmth and the perfect environment they need.
The Northern Regional Electricity Distributor is rolling out smart technologies across the northern regions, particularly Kavango East and West regions, to reduce persistent power interruptions amid scrutiny over the impact of outages on schools and other critical services. The rollout coincides with growing concerns over compromised school food storage after two schools, Kashinga Shi Combined School and Rundu Secondary School, reported suspected food poisoning incidents. Kavango East Education Director Christine Shilima highlighted that the issues were reportedly linked to delayed notifications from NORAD regarding planned outages. NORAD spokesperson Simon Lucas said the utility is modernizing its network to improve reliability and response times while firmly denying responsibility for the reported food spoilage and suspected poisoning incidents. Central to the initiative is the implementation of a supervisory control and data acquisition system introduced in February 2026. The system allows real-time monitoring of the electricity network and immediate detection of faults without relying on customer reports. This system improves restoration times significantly, as faults can now be identified and addressed instantly, Lucas said, noting that the technology also reduces pressure on call centers by limiting the need for customers to report outages. The SCADA system currently monitors over 80% of NORAD's medium voltage network, with all lines in the Kavango East and West regions prioritized to ensure faster detection and restoration during disruptions. In addition, NORAD has introduced a Combi unit protection system to safeguard transformers from lightning-related damage, one of the leading causes of prolonged outages in the region. Installation began in November 2025 and targets high-risk areas prone to severe weather. Lucas said the northern and northeastern regions, particularly Kavango East and West, experience high lightning activity during the rainy season, making the network especially vulnerable. Despite acknowledging ongoing challenges, NORAD strongly rejected allegations linking its services to the two school food spoilage incidents. Lucas said, according to NORAD's monitoring data, no power interruption was recorded on the network supplying Kashingashi Combined School on the day of the reported incident. This position was formally communicated to the Kavango West Regional Council regarding Rundu Secondary School. Lucas confirmed that a planned 6-hour outage took place on the 15th of March 2026 to allow for non-power maintenance, but stressed that stakeholders were notified in advance. The planned maintenance affected over 300 schools, yet only Rundu Secondary reported food-related issues. We therefore vehemently refute the allegations that these incidents should be attributed to NORAD, Lucas added. He also urged schools, hospitals, and businesses handling perishable goods to invest in backup power solutions to safeguard operations during both planned and unplanned outages. That concludes our top stories. On the other side of the break, we get into what's leading the news in Story of the Day. The Office of the President plans to spend just under $24 million on two former presidents, Prime Minister Elijah Ngurare stated when he presented the new budget for the head of state to Parliament. The Prime Minister spent most of his time speaking on the President's activities and official visits over the past 12 months and provided little information on new initiatives. The Office of the President requires $1.21 billion, of which $152 million is needed for development projects. Last year, the office received $1.46 billion. The smaller budget for the new financial year starting the 1st of April is due to the fact that the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board has now been assigned to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, explained Ngurare. According to him, a total of $239.8 million was allocated on the 25th of the in 2025 for investment and maintenance projects, primarily for key activities such as the infrastructure maintenance, the renewal of office equipment, and ensuring safe and efficient air travel for the president and other high-ranking officials, said Ngurare. In addition, funds have been allocated for the renovation of the 4th presidential residence and office, as well as the guest house in Swakopmund and a new government guest house to be built in Oshakati, the presidential apartment within the presidential office in Windhoek, and for feasibility studies and architectural designs for the presidential wing at the guest house in Oshakati. Funds have also been approved for the second phase of the air conditioning upgrade at State House, emphasized Ngurare. Expenditure for former presidents Hifikepunye Pohamba and Nangolo Mbumba is estimated at $23.7 million for the new financial year. The Prime Minister's office is said to receive $535 million in the new financial year, of which $50 million is earmarked for development projects. In his budget speech, Ngurare pointed out that in 2025, around 1.4 million people, just under 50% of the population, had received drought relief. He also announced a new law on public sector administration and management. It is intended to close gaps in governance and improve coordination within the government. All right, on the other side of this, we get into economic news. Stay with Sunset News.
Welkom by Agri Monitor, die hart van landbounuus in Namibia. Ek is Jacques de Tooy en ek is julle aanbieder. Kyk die program op DStv kanaal 285 of op Go TV op kanaal 25. Die program verskyn elke Dinsdag aand om 8:30, Woensdag 1:00 die middag en Sondag 7:00 die oggend. Skakel in en ons gesels saam. Sien julle daar.
economic news, the Namibian economy slowed in real terms in 2025, despite a notable increase in nominal income of 19.7 billion Namibian dollars. The national accounts released by the Namibia Statistics Agency indicate when accounting for price adjustments, the domestic economy slowed to real growth of 1.7% in 2025, compared to 3.8% recorded in 2024. This slow performance is attributed to the primary industries, which recorded a decline of 7.2% in real value added, compared to a decline of 3.2% noted in the corresponding period of 2024, the NSA said. The main drivers were the mining and quarrying and agriculture, forestry and fishing sectors, which declined by 9.4% and 3.3% respectively. Within agriculture, the livestock farming subsector contracted by 21.7%, while diamond mining declined by 19.4%, dragging down the broader mining sector. The secondary industries registered slower growth of 2.1% in real value added, down from 3.6% in 2024. This performance is ascribed to the manufacturing sector, which recorded a decline of 2.9% compared to growth of 4% recorded in 2024. The NSA said the tertiary industries were the standout performers, were posting growth of 4.2%. Gains were recorded across information and communication, 10.7%, wholesale and retail, 7.8%, health, 6.6%, education, 4.7%, and public administration and defense, 3.8%. With the ICT sector's performance driven primarily by rising mobile and data usage, the tertiary industries remained the main contributor to the gross domestic product, accounting for 55%, the NSA said. This is followed by the primary industries that contributed 21% to GDP, while the secondary industries contributed 15% to GDP. In real terms, the primary industries in 2025 recorded a negative growth of 7.2% relative to a decline of 3.2% posted in 2024. Additionally, the secondary industries grew by 2.1% in 2025 compared to 3.6% recorded in 2024, the NSA said. That concludes our economic news. Up next, the financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 22.66, against the euro at 19.60, against the US dollar at 16.96 to Namibian dollars and 46 cents gets you one Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold, copper and platinum went up, while Brent crude oil went down, trading at 3.25%, going at $104.77 per barrel. Up next, international news.
Hello, salam, sawubona. Welcome to Africa Beyond Borders. We missed you guys so much, and we're so excited to share with you guys our season 1 for 2026. You can expect fun stories from Africans across the globe, all here to share stories about culture and celebrating their identity. Catch us on DSTV channel 285, GoTV channel 25, and you can stream every episode on oneup2.com.
Getting in international news, one of the key military figures convicted of crimes against humanity for his involvement in Guinea's 2009 stadium massacre has died in custody, authorities say. Abubakar Sidiki Diakite, also known as Taumba, died early on Wednesday in hospital following a medical emergency, the prison administration said. He was serving a 10-year sentence for his role in one of the darkest episodes in Guinea's history, in which more than 150 people were killed in the capital, Conakry. As they demanded an end to military rule, at least 109 women were also raped. While in custody, Diakité remained a controversial figure, creating a political party and attempting to run for president. Last year, he declared his intention to stand in the presidential elections, which was rejected by the Supreme Court after it ruled he was ineligible. At the time of the massacre, Diakité was commander of the Presidential Guard and a close ally of Guinea's then military ruler, Moussa Dadis Camara. According to the prison administration, Diakité was declared dead at the Samarai Touré military hospital in Conakry, where he was taken late on Monday. Citing his medical report, the administration said he presented symptoms characterized by gastric swelling, abdominal pain, and constipation. His death has prompted mixed reactions in Guinea, where memories of the 2009 violence remain politically sensitive, with people still waiting for justice. One political expert likened his death to the end of an era, telling the BBC. He died, but the full truth died with him. Tens of thousands of people had gathered at a stadium on the 28th of September 2009 to protest against the possibility of Camara running for president. On Camara's orders, security forces opened fire on the crowd. More than 150 people were killed and hundreds more injured, according to judicial findings. At least 109 women and girls were also raped. Camara survived a shot to the head shortly after the massacre, which was blamed on Diakité, according to the AFP news agency. Let's take a look at the weather predictions for tomorrow. The capital city can expect some showers with a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius, while Hobabers can enjoy partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius. Handys Bay can enjoy some showers along with Swakopmund, Rehoboth, Marienthal and Arensvlei, and Keetmanshoop as well. We'll be right back after this. To the end of the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in and catching up on the latest news with Sunset News. From me, Glenora Shipura. Until next time.